Hi folks, this is Travis Truman. I'm going to talk to you today about the crime of arsons. Now, as you all know, arson is the old name of causing criminal damage by fire. So basically, it's just destruction of property by fire. Now, the arsonist tends to use very cheap and available tools. Now, usually, if the arsonist is smart, he'll usually wear what I've got on, folks. See that? Just a pair of leather gloves. And the arsonist also usually employs either a box of matches, which costs about maybe 50 cents at the most, easily used arson device. And the other very common device, which is probably more reliable, is of course this cigarette lighter. And that's a bit more reliable, folks, because with matches, you're leaving evidence at the scene. You could leave something on the match, but more likely you could drop the match and so on. It's just not as the matches aren't quite as good as the actual cigarette lighter. Now, so there's not really basically anything society can do, okay, to stop people getting hold of these sorts of materials. Now the other item that an arsonist might use is an accelerant, such as petrol, or fuel oils such as kerosene. And these, if properly used, can really accelerate a fire. However, these things aren't necessary, folks. For example, in the Disease Society of Australia, we've seen a lot of bushfires, say in 2009-2010 period, which were lit, and they can be lit without any accelerants required. Okay, so there's not really anything you can do to stop the arsonist, and it's very hard to catch an arsonist because the fire tends to destroy any forensic evidence in the area. Okay, folks. As long as the arsonist is smart and doesn't have anything in his vehicle or on his person that could link him to the arson, it's very unlikely that he will ever be apprehended by his revolting society. Now, despite this, the extreme dangers of arson, your society has shown absolutely no interest in stopping the causes of arson attacks. So, what are the causes of arson attacks, you might ask? Well, all arsonists are just simply the victims of society. They are the victims of extreme child abuse, bullying, subjugation, and victimization by their society. And not all, but most dedicated arsonists, because of this, are often are very quiet, defeated, or very introverted type of personalities. Now, since society has created the arsonist and has victimized them terribly, the arsonist can only be described rationally to the sane thinker as a victim of society. And in actual fact, he is using arson to strike out and hit his society back as a form of justice, of vengeance, his own personal justice against his society that has wronged him. And this actually is justice, folks. It is a form of justice and vengeance that the individual arsonist often savours. Now, arsonists are not evil or something like that. They actually have every right to attack society because your society's done everything in the world to them and attacked them. Okay? And the level of abuse and victimization you have foisted upon your helpless children determines often the type of arsonist that he will turn out to be. Now, of course, all arsonists, as we know, they carry these standard materials, folks, like the matches and so on. We know about that. But all arsonists use the same sorts of materials in that sense, but by types. I mean actual psychological types. The first type of arsonist is merely trying to get back at society by damaging property. He isn't actually trying to harm anybody at all. Now, this type of arsonist is much less enraged, victimized, and clear in his thoughts than a full-blown arsonist of the second variety. A second type of arsonist is a much more enraged, much more victimized and abused individual who is trying to get back at humanity and society by lighting fires for the purpose not only of destroying property, but in the hope that those fires will basically kill people. He's basically the same as a serial killer. He is lighting the fire as a way of trying to get at the people inside the building or in an area if it's a forest fire, in the hope that he will kill human beings. He doesn't quite have the initiative, the courage, and the type of personality traits due to the extreme victimization that made him an arsonist in order to confront people face to face and murder them with knives or strangle them like a normal serial killer would. But even so, this type of arsonist really is, in his mind, a serial killer. Okay? So, as you can see, folks, there are two basic types of arsonists, but both are created by extreme abuse and victimization, mainly when they were children, that was foisted upon them by their society. Therefore, the arsonist, no matter how horrible his crimes, is always a created, tortured victim of his society. This has been a production by Travis Truman for Travis's Truth TV Series 2. I hope you found this video informative, folks, and you can find more information at my website. Well, that's it, folks, for this video, but I'll see you next time on Travis's Truth TV.